Hi Alphonsus, my name is Doug and I'm the co-founder of IELTScity.com. Thank you very much for submitting your first right for writing task 2. It'll be my pleasure to take a close look at it, tear it up, and hopefully build you back up so you can see how you can improve upon your writing skills. Alright? So, the first thing you notice is that it looks like a Christmas tree. It's lit up. There are a lot of colors. We have red, yellow, green, and blue. Red is for organization, yellow is for vocabulary, green is for grammar, that's an easy one, right? And blue is for answering the question. The second thing to note is that I've highlighted the mistakes only because it would take too much time to highlight all the positives. No, just joking. But of course, I want to point out the negative aspects of writing so you can improve. Lastly, I'm going to read twice. Two times. The first time I read through it, I'm reading for mistakes with grammar, punctuation, spelling, and so on. That's yellow and green. And the second time I read through, I'm going to look for your organization, how you organize your writing, the structure, and so on, and how you answer the question. Okay? Let's go. Alright, so heredity plays a role in the development of an offspring, especially when it comes to unique abilities that make someone distinct from others. Alright, offspring, interesting choice of word. Sounds like an animal. Be careful with the word choice. Find a synonym for offspring. Right? Someone's child, right? Abilities that makes. Let me ask you, what is the problem there? Abilities that makes. Yes, this is an adjective clause. Very nice. Good thing. We like adjective clauses. But singular, plural, verb, subject issues. We've got to figure it out. Abilities that make or ability that makes. Okay, so you have to make sure they agree. Some argue that skills such as being athletic or talented in the field of music can be passed from parent to child. Very good sentence. Next one. However, others trust that this types of gifts can be taught to them as well. All right. This types. What's the problem? What's the problem? This types. Okay, subject verb agreement once again. This type of gift or these types of gifts. All right, let's continue. There are no doubts that abilities which are unique to a person can be passed. All right, 2 mistakes. First one, there are no doubts. Better say there is no doubt that. It's a fixed expression, sounds better. Second one, can be passed on. Can be passed on. All right. It is the role of the human genes that makes this true. Very nice sentence. A person who can play a sport like no other athlete has seen before tends to be regarded as a level of a player who have a high IQ for the... Okay, let's continue that section, but let's look at the mistakes first. A person who can play a sport like no other athlete has seen before tend. So I think we're looking at a person tends to be regarded. So the issue is person. Is that singular or plural? Person is 1 or 2? Singular, right? So a person tends to be regarded, all right? But once again, I'm highlighting the negative things. It's great that you have an adjective clause, but you made a mistake with the adjective clause. So be certain that when you show your feathers, when you show that you have advanced grammatical skills, advanced grammatical structures, that you don't make mistakes, okay? Secondly, a person who can play a sport like no other athlete has seen before tend to be... Okay, there's a mistake there. I think it's just you've kind of mixed 2 ideas. A person who can play a sport like no other has seen before tends to be regarded. So I took out athlete, and that fixes the sentence. Or you could say a person who can play a sport like no other athlete tends to be regarded. Okay, I think you're mixing ideas. People have never seen this before, and you're mixing the subject with the athlete has never seen this. Okay, so be careful with the subject there. You're mixing 2 sentences. All right, high IQ. I don't know if you would say high IQ for someone who's born with an innate talent. They have a knack for something. They have special abilities. They have talents. They have uncanny skills. But I don't know if I would say high IQ when it comes to talent. All right? Here you go. For the certain game that one plays. Okay, a musician who can play an instrument by ears. Very nice idiomatic expression. To play something or to sing something, know something by ear. Very nice. But by ears or by ear? one ear. Okay, expression is by ear. Is highly regarded as great. Okay, very nice. Highly regarded, very good. Great, very good, but it's redundant. So, is highly regarded, period, or someone who can play an instrument by ear is great. Now, the second issue is that you use regarded here, right here, see it? Regarded. And you would just use regarded right here. So, I wrote here synonym. You should come up with a synonym. Vocabulary. What's important when it comes to vocabulary? You are pretty good. You have an advanced vocabulary. You need to use synonyms. You need to use a variety of words or expressions to say the same thing. Otherwise, the person who's looking at your test will not know that you know synonyms. So, once again, the issue is finding a synonym for that word regarded. Let's continue. Moreover, these people can owe the skill set that they have from their families. Okay, owe their skill set to their families. Okay, let's skip this whole section. It's good. It is evident nowadays for athletes that came from the same family background. I don't know what you're trying to say, and we'll talk about that in organization. Excuse me. Let's continue. While this is a fact, it cannot be questioned that being good at sports or music are learned. Okay, while this is a fact, comma, it cannot be questioned that being good at sports or music is learned. People can be brought up to become skillful or to be skillful, not to being skillful. Okay. Hard work, spelling, 2 words, hard work. Or you can use hardworking as an adjective, like a hardworking person, and you can hyphenate that. But if it's hard work, 2 words. All right, let's continue. Even though, okay, let's look over here. Even though a person does not have a family who can master a lot of things, when they put their efforts into it, this can make a difference. Okay, even though, it actually makes sense what you're saying, but it would make more sense, it would be clearer if you were even if. And if you were to use that subordinating conjunction, even if, basically you're saying it doesn't matter if a person comes from a family that doesn't have talent. But you say even though, it's like saying despite that person, despite the fact that they came from a talentless family. So it's kind of not the appropriate subordinated conjunction. I'd use even if. All right. When they put effort, when they make an effort, put an effort is not correct. Right. And then secondly here, when they put their efforts into it, comma, because when we have the subordinating conjunction, we have when, we put a comma here. Very good. To illustrate well-known individuals, la 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 la, very good, very good. Okay. All right, let's see what the mistake is. Having made a great impact, not because of, okay, very good. I like this, not because of, but because of. So I think for sake of consistency, you can say not because of this, but because of that. So instead of not but this is due to, I would say but because of blah, 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 blah. Right? As a result, they have developed such, blah, 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 a turnaround for them. Okay, you don't need to use for them. As a result, they have developed such and made a complete turnaround, period. Punto in Spanish. All right. Overall, although many state that abilities are generally carried from one person to another, one can ultimately also acquire these through endeavor. Okay, endeavor is a verb. So through endurance, through perseverance, through hard work and determination. Okay, very good. So remember, I'm cutting this paper up not because it's so bad. I'm cutting it up because it's good, but we need to find the mistakes and see how you can improve upon them. All right? So don't forget that, please. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I want to bleed on the plate on your paper so you can see how you can make it better. Okay? Now, organization, structure, blah, 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 and answering the question. You're a very good writer. All right? Now, I got to tear you up. The introduction seems off, and what I mean by that is you're giving like a definition of heredity. Excuse me, a little tongue-tied. Give a definition of heredity, or saying what heredity is, or why it's important, and then you talk about one side believes this and another side believes this. So it's a little bit confusing. I think it would be a little bit clearer if you talked about heredity and then gave your opinion on how heredity relates to talent. So you might want to use your first sentence, and then the next sentence can say something how what your opinion is on the topic. Or you can just skip this first sentence and go to this two-sided argument, saying, some argue this, however, others argue that, and then your thesis statement would be what your opinion is or what would happen in this essay. Okay? I think that was one of your specific questions earlier. Now, there are many ways to skin a cat. It's a disgusting expression, and basically what it means is there's no one answer. You are a good writer, just don't confuse these. It just doesn't seem like it's a great flow to talk about heredity and talk about skill and then not bridge the two. All right? So there's not a formula to write the perfect introduction, but hopefully I explained to you and you understand what I mean, how it doesn't flow. All right, that's the main issue with organization there. All right. Let's see here, we talked about all these mistakes over there. This sentence does not seem to be in the right place. I don't know what you're trying to say. I think you're trying to say how it's evidently, I don't know what you're trying to say. Maybe you're trying to say that it's often the case that athletes have children who also become athletes. I think that's your sentiment, the idea you're trying to express here. So you need to figure out how you want to phrase that, if that in fact is what you're trying to say. And then the next question is, or I guess the next point is to make sure that that fits in your answer. Okay? I know you give the example of a toddler, which is good, but then I think it would be a good idea to give the example of an athlete having children who are also athletes, but you need to find the right way to phrase that. Okay, it is done. Now you're using substitution, you're using this pronoun, it is done, and you're talking about people can be brought up to become skillful. They become skillful? I don't know what this it is. It's a little bit ambiguous. It's not really clear. So maybe this is, they become skillful. I think they, like the basic pronoun they seems to work well there. They do so through diligence, hard work, and perseverance. But I like this play apart. Very good. All right. And I think last thing here, and this is actually a big one. Overall, although many state that abilities are generally carried from one person to another, one can ultimately also acquire these through endeavor. Very, very good. But it begs a question. What is your opinion? You argued one side, and you explained, their logic, and you argued the second side, and you explained their logic, but you didn't come clear with what your opinion is. So, it's not abundantly clear as to what your opinion is. So you need to somehow voice your opinion here. Like I said, you can put that in your thesis statement and then drive it home in your conclusion. That's one option, right? But all right, so let's take a step back. You are very good at grammar. You have your great vocabulary, organization, and answering the question. I got to tear you apart. So where can you improve? How can you improve? What can you do to do better? First and foremost, the most important thing, actually two things. First thing is grammar. Do not make simple mistakes. Okay. My explanation for this is you want to play offense and defense. Think about any sport. Soccer is a good one, right? I mean, you have strikers, they're scoring, but you also need the goalie. You need defenders to keep the ball from going in your net. So you got to play offense and defense. So offense means using advanced grammatical structures. Defense means not making mistakes after you've shown the person reading your test that you can use advanced sentence structures. Okay, so it's offense and defense. Now I'm going to leave my hands here. Second way to think about it, it's like putting water in my hands here. Now, you put the water in my hands, it's like your grammar. You're using all this great grammar, scoring, probably, I don't know. But you're probably doing a great job, grammar. And then when you make all the mistakes, you're spreading your fingers and you're letting all the good stuff run out. So there's no use in putting your hands here. Or I guess it kind of helps, but there's no reason to. So offense and defense, keep yourself from making mistakes. So what should you do? After you finish writing, quickly check. And you're probably at a level of grammar where you can catch a lot of your mistakes. Second most important thing, the question said discuss both sides and give your opinion. I don't feel that you said, "This is my opinion." So you need to find a part where you want to express your opinion in the essay. Okay? The other things I explain to my students. You want to be the peacock. Show your beautiful feathers. And what I mean by that is when it comes to grammar, show off your grammar skills like you are. You're doing a great job. Also, when it comes to vocabulary, you're showing off your feathers, but don't let them get cut. Once again, make sure that you don't make mistakes with the right preposition to use in an idiomatic expression or phrasal verb or something. Also, redundancy, using the same word. Find synonyms. Okay, so that's it, Alphonsus. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this was thorough enough to give you some thoughts as to how you can improve, and we look forward to your next one. Have a fantastic day. Take care.